So for Noah and I's Business 360 country project, we chose Spain, and we're comparing that with the United States. So a brief country comparison. Obviously, the United States operates on a much larger level logistically. We have a population of 330 million, while Spain sits at 50 million. Spain has a total land size of 314 square miles, while the United States is over 6 million miles. The United States has a much larger level of GDP of 19.94 trillion, while Spain sits at 1.778 trillion. The median age of Spain's population is 43.9 years old, while the United States has a younger demographic at 38.5 years old. Both countries' biggest companies are banks, being JP Morgan for the United States and Santander for Spain. So basic business etiquette comparison. Similarities, shaking hands is very similar. The only difference is in Spain, they typically greet everyone present with a handshake, including men, women, and children. Dress code also very similar. The only difference is that Spain has, they allow high fashion. It's not uncommon for business meetings for you to dress very elegantly. Times and dates in Spain are not binding. It's not the end of the world if you're late, which is totally different in the United States. Time is money here, and a saying that's widely used in business culture is if you're not early, you're late. Being on time is key. When speaking with a Spanish businessman or woman, expect to be interrupted. It's part of the culture. Be patient and do not feel you need to answer right away. Procrastination and delay is a part of Spanish business culture. The business culture here in the US does not harshly contrast the business culture in Spain. There are many similarities when it comes to etiquette. So for our first basic model of management, we chose power distance dimension. It's the most similar dimension of business between the United States and Spain, and it refers to the hierarchy of business. In Spain, subordinates are under a manager and are typically given direction and are told what to do and when to do it, just as we do here in the United States. Both countries have a hierarchy within an organization. Each person has their place within the organization and knows what tasks are theirs. A management theory that we chose that plays into power distance and both correlates with the United States and Spain would be the traits model of leadership. This model basically says that leaders think that they are more intelligent and mature than their subordinates, ultimately making them better leaders. This model fits within the dimension because leaders are the ones who create the distance. And if it wasn't for their ability to believe that they were more intelligent or mature, there would be no hierarchy or organizational structure of leadership.
Our second management model is the uncertainty avoidance dimension. The greatest dimensional difference between the two countries would be this dimension of uncertainty avoidance. The dimension pertains to new ideas or going into uncertain territory. Spain is known for not welcoming change within an organization, along with the fact that new ideas are not usually taken seriously. In comparison to the US, which always has been a leader in innovation and running with new ideas until they fail, Spain is not accustomed to change, and many times a new idea or change within an organization will rise to a personal attack on a leader or manager in which they feel inferior to the person who shot down a new idea. As an American within a Spanish organization, one would want to follow the rules and toe the line without freely expressing any ideas that would involve a change within the organization. Masculine, feminine dimension. The differences between a masculine and feminine dimension generally fall under an organization's level of competitiveness. In the United States, most organizations are masculine due to the level of capitalism and the high level of competition within each industry. A common trend among US business people is being the best you can be in everything you do. In comparison to business people of Spain who care more about a high quality of life and rarely speak about one's own successes and achievements. Spaniards care more about dominant collective vote within an organization. They strive to know the opinion of each of their subordinates, in which they will then decide based on what the organization thinks is best from a total organizational standpoint. As an American within a Spanish organization, one would have to lose the individualistic view and care more about the success of the organization. One would also have to keep quiet about his or her achievements because boasting is highly frowned upon. Lastly, our conclusion. In conclusion to the different dimensions, etiquette, and overall comparisons, Spain and the US are more similar than they are different when it comes to organizational models and management theories. Logistically, the US operates on a much larger scale, but they have many fundamental organizational traits that remain the same. For instance, power distance. When it comes to the etiquette and overall business appearance, the United States and Spain operate on the same level, but with different cultural norms. The biggest organizational difference between a Spanish employee and an American employee would be their degree of individualism. It is an American staple to always be looking out for oneself and consistently exposing successes or accomplishments. While Spanish employees are still individually focused, they operate under different cultural guidelines. It wouldn't be difficult for an American manager to make the switch to a Spanish organization, with the exception, obviously, to the language barrier, the resistance to change, and more focus on quality versus success. Thank you.